So don't worry about what this graph necessarily means. Just this is like basically a time as time goes on. So this bottom x-axis is just the number of trials, meaning in our Pavlov example, it would be the number of times we ring a bell for the dog's food to come. So don't really worry about that, but I'm just looking at the timeline of how classical conditioning works. So does anyone remember what we call this first phase where they're learning to pair the bell and the food, or whatever your unconditioned and conditioned stimuli are? Does anyone remember the name of that? Okay, doesn't look like it. That is called acquisition. So that's when you're first pairing your conditioned stimulus and your unconditioned stimulus. You're ringing the bell, you're giving the food. Ringing the bell, giving the food. Over and over again, so that the dogs learn to pair these two stimuli. Then all of a sudden we stop giving the food, and we just have the conditioned stimulus. We just ring the bell and we don't give the dogs the food. Eventually they stop, or they learn to stop responding, right? Because if you're just going to keep ringing the bell and not giving them food, why are they going to drool? Does anyone remember what this is called when the behavior goes away? Extinguish, yeah. So extinguish or extinction, they're both correct. So yeah, extinction is when you just give the conditioned stimulus, or the CS, and so the behavior decreases because the dogs are like, wait, you're not giving me food, I'm not going to drool, you're just ringing a bell at me. So they learn to stop responding. We didn't really talk about it, but if you're curious, like these next two boxes on the graph, spontaneous recovery, they were mentioned in your book, but we didn't really talk about them in lecture. But that's when all of a sudden they just have this reaction again, so you're not giving them the food, you're still just ringing the bell, but all of a sudden they drool again. And then it goes down, and then they drool again. So it's very weird, but basically you can never truly unlearn something, so they're always going to respond maybe like once in every 100 bells that ring. So just in case you were curious with this.